Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here at the National Weather Service office in Pocatello with another edition of your weather hazard briefing. This is for Tuesday, October 14th. Key points as we look at the next several days. Our organized break is over. Hopefully some of you were able to get out and take advantage of the milder temperatures and the mostly dry conditions that we saw for your Monday. We will see more in the way of isolated to scattered showers over the course of the day today, as well as maybe a few isolated thunderstorms. We've actually already had some lightning strikes here this morning across southern portions of our forecast area. Not going to be a washout for most of you today, so depending on where you are, there may be some drier periods over the course of the day today, but that general increasing trend in showers and a few thunderstorms will be in place, and that's only going to get wetter as we go into tonight and Wednesday. Showers becoming much more widespread, snow levels gradually dropping from about 8,000 feet down to about 7,000 feet, maybe just a little bit lower in a few spots. Still a good southerly wind flow with this event, so accumulating rain and snow is expected for the southern central mountain region, particularly the mountains around the Lost River Valley and also the mountains around the Wood River Valley. But again, with those higher snow levels, we're really keeping the snow accumulation quite high in elevation. We'll look at that here graphically in just a moment. So all in all, some slushy conditions can't be ruled out with this event over the next few days at a few of our mountain passes. Do keep that in mind if you will be traveling. Otherwise, most impacts other than rain are really going to be limited to the high elevation backcountry. So anyone who is out trying to do some early season snow activities or hunting, definitely keep in mind it's going to be cold and snowy as you get up high. Colder temperatures kick off Wednesday in the second half of this event. Those will continue onward with some shower activity lingering into the day Thursday for most of our forecast area. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be dealing with this low pressure system. Here's what that looks like on our weather risk outlook, and you can see those impacts here for the next 3 days. Generally, we've highlighted in yellow here for some minor risks, some minor impacts where we do see some of that snow mixing in. But again, it's going to be pretty isolated to the backcountry or a few mountain passes in most cases. Otherwise, rain showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Mostly drying out by Friday, though, other than maybe a few rain and snow showers lingering up in the northeastern part of the forecast area. Think places like Island Park, the Upper Snake Highlands, maybe down toward Driggs as well. And then currently looking fairly quiet for Saturday as we eventually kick off a new weekend here. No watches, warnings, or advisories in effect right now, and again, that is largely tied to how high elevation the snow is going to be with this system. Overall rainfall amounts aren't looking particularly concerning for most of you right now as far as any flood potential, so it's just going to be one of those fall systems here in southeast Idaho where it's going to turn colder, it's going to be wet and showery, and again, there'll be some high elevation snow. If you remember our satellite image from yesterday, we had a low pressure system spinning up here just off the coast and up near Seattle, and you can see that spin is now all the way down here near the coast of California. So that low pressure system has gone due south down the coast just as we expected it would. Out ahead of it, you can still see a nice southerly flow of moisture, these clouds moving from south to north over southern and eastern portions of Idaho. Yesterday, that brought in the mild temperatures. Today, it'll keep the mild temperatures around, but we're also, again, seeing more and more moisture coming in this southerly flow as well, with that trend to get wetter as we go into the overnight tonight into Wednesday. Already seeing some rain and some shower activity starting to creep into portions of southern Idaho from Utah. Again, hit and miss. Shower activity, maybe a few thunderstorms today, some dry periods in between as we head toward those wetter conditions tonight and Wednesday. High temperatures today, not too different from what we saw yesterday. Again, that southerly flow continuing to keep our air mass fairly mild. You can see readings here generally reaching the 60s once again from the eastern Magic Valley up the Snake Plain corridor, and then as we get into some of our mountain valleys, still topping out in the 50s by the time we get to this afternoon. No severe weather expected, but an isolated thunderstorm or 2 or 3 will be possible over the course of the day today. High temperatures Wednesday. Now we're taking a hit. Now we're starting to bring in some cooler air with this system, this big low pressure system moving across the Great Basin region by Wednesday. Our mountain valleys backing off into the mid 40s to low 50s, generally low 50s up the Snake Plain and Eastern Magic Valley corridor as well. And you can see as you get up in elevation, daytime temperatures much closer to freezing, particularly in the higher elevations of the Central Mountains up along the Montana border as well. Wednesday again, not expecting severe weather, but a few isolated thunderstorms will remain possible as this system continues. Thursday, we lose even a few more degrees, 48 for your high temperature by afternoon in Pocatello. Still a few 50s in the Eastern Magic Valley, 46 up in Island Park, 44 down in Montpelier. So very few locations reaching 50 degrees. If you look at the bulk of the forecast area here by Thursday, and again, Thursday, some lingering showers as this system finally starts to wrap up and pull away from the region. Not a huge change overall with our snowfall forecast. This is for the entire event from now through late Thursday night. You can still see the southern portions of the Central Mountains as you get up in elevation. These yellows and oranges indicate about 6 to 12 inches of snowfall potential. But you can look at our city labels here, and most of them are blank. Again, we're expecting mostly rainfall below particularly about 7,000 feet and not much in the way of accumulation. Places like Galena Summit, Banner Summit, up here to Reynolds Pass and Targhee Pass, maybe Pine Creek Pass. Can't rule out some slushy conditions at times when temperatures are on the cool side. And you can see Galena in particular expecting possibly 1 to 3, 2 to 3 inches up that way out of this system. Other than that, rainfall for most of our population centers here out of this event. Here's our probability of 1 inch of snow or more. And again, we're seeing the same theme here. Ketchum, virtually 0. If we do see snow mixing in, it's just not expected to accumulate down into the valley versus Galena Summit, 78% of reaching probability of reaching 1 inch of snow. We've ticked up a little bit here in Island Park. You saw some good snowfall out of our last event. We may be able to pull off an inch up here in Island Park, about a 1 in 10 chance of an inch of snow here in Driggs. Outside of that, again, rain dominating at lower elevations. Probability of exceeding a foot of snow, still very limited out there, but you can see again the highest elevations of the southern Central Mountains up in the backcountry, possibly seeing those higher accumulations as well as over here in the Grand Tetons. Outside of snow, overall expected precipitation for this entire event, a little bit of fluctuation here or there, but still a widespread 1/4 to 1/2 inch in lower elevations. As you get into the eastern corridor here, east of I-15, particularly into more mountainous areas, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and then a few spots exceeding 1 inch of liquid equivalent. Some areas that's all rain, and some areas, again, that'll be rain and melted snow up in the backcountry. By the time we exit out the backside of this system, we're going to clear things out. We're going to dry things out for your Friday, and you can see that temperatures maybe recover a few degrees here. We have more 50s showing up at lower elevations, maybe back towards 60 degrees at Twin Falls, and not too far off from that at Burley by the time we get to Friday. So that's what we're looking at this week. Again, just unsettled, showery, be some wet weather at times, temperatures cooling once again as we go forward. Really the most mild day in the forecast right now will be today. And then we'll dry out as we head into Friday and Saturday. Questions, comments, concerns, of course, we're here 24/7 at the Weather Service office in Pocatello. Please feel free to connect with us using the information on this slide or via social media on Facebook and X. And everyone have a wonderful Tuesday.